Welcome back to Greg's Grooves. Today we have another episode of Overlooked Masterpieces. And this album, you might argue, is not overlooked in that it's made the Rolling Stone 500 Best Albums of All Time. It's on 1001 Albums You Need to Hear Before You Die, or whatever that thing is called. But I would argue that it is still criminally overlooked because this band didn't really have a huge impact, at least sales-wise, in the United States. And even in the UK, they're more remembered for their influence on other bands than necessarily sales numbers or chart influence or anything like that. So, without any further ado, today's Overlooked Masterpiece, Gang of Four, Entertainment. This is an album I don't want to say discovered. Discovered is always the wrong word, but I gravitated towards in high school. It was introduced to me by a classmate of mine, Mike Kaufman. If you're out there watching, let me know. We were in a band together. He played bass. He was very much into the history of punk and post-punk. Ended up getting really ingrained into the East Coast hardcore movement. He still plays bass to this day, I believe, in some sort of New York hardcore group. But anyway, he knew that I wasn't as into the hard and fast stuff as he was, though, you know, I do enjoy my Gorilla Biscuits and Minutemen and Minor Threat and things like that. But I have to really be in the mood for that sort of stuff. He knew that I would love this album. He knew that I loved Elvis Costello and the Cars and all this sort of post-punk sort of stuff, and he's like, you gotta hear this album. So at the time, I think I went to Borders. I think they had a CD copy of it. I bought it, put it on, and I was like, damn, Mike, you're right, this is amazing, and how have I never heard this before? This is one of those albums that, you know, would not have been in my dad's collection. My dad's born in 1955. He's very much of the Who, Stones, Beatles, Zeppelin era, but he was also very into new wave. He saw the Cars early on in their career and had the first several Cars albums, and he was a big Elvis Costello fan. We go see Elvis Costello at the Capitol Theater here pretty much every time he comes into town. But I guarantee he's never heard of this album, let alone played it. And to me, that's really unfortunate. I think he would probably enjoy it. I mean, he's heard me play it, so maybe if he enjoyed it, he would have asked me what it was. But the point is, I think this deserves to be up there in the same conversation as the Cars self-titled album, of anything that's going on in 1978, 1979. This comes out in 1979, which I would argue is maybe the best year for music ever, and I plan on making a video about why I think that. But it has maybe the best debut single ever in Damaged Goods. It's just a perfect song. Natural's Not in It is another fantastic. I mean, every song on the album's great, but if you're looking like, oh, I don't have a lot of time, I'm going to go on Spotify, listen to one or two tracks. Damaged Goods, Natural's Not in It. Go listen to those, and if you like those, you'll like the rest of the album, and if you don't like those, you won't like the rest of the album. It's pretty simple. Honestly, Gang of Four is one of those bands that I don't know that much about, and I don't want to just come on camera and, you know, regurgitate the Wikipedia page. Anybody can do that. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who are willing to do that, and there's plenty of people who are probably huge fans of Gang of Four that have videos on YouTube where they actually speak with some sort of efficacy on this topic. I just like to highlight albums that have been overlooked and what I think about them, and this is one of those albums that deserves much more recognition from the general population, even if it has it from the critics, even if it has it from Rolling Stone. That doesn't mean anything if people aren't listening to it. what I have here is actually very cool. I have no idea when I picked it up or how. I know I picked it up early in my collecting days, and it's a promotional copy. You can see it says promotional copy, not for sale, from Warner Brothers, and it has this sticker here, which I admit I am totally ignorant. I don't know if that sticker came on the album when it was in stores, but it says, "I think it's the best debut album I've ever heard. The Gang of Four have achieved a tautness and ferocity reminiscent of John Lennon's first solo releases. After Entertainment, everything else is nursery rhymes." Graham Locke, New Musical Express. "As it stands, Entertainment is an impressive, efficient, and provocative debut." Melody Maker. "You shouldn't need me to tell you that you need this. Rock and roll of this caliber is rare." Chris Westwood, Record Mirror. I agree with those assessments, and if that sticker didn't come on the records that got shipped to stores, it should have. There's some obvious, left political statements on this album, and that's fine by me. Other people might feel differently, but I like what this album has to say. I like the artwork. I like everything about it. You can see a little more of that political sentiment in the inner sleeve. "The facts are presented neutrally so that the public can make up its own mind. The police act impartially to defend the rights of minority group. Men act heroically to defend their country." You could see there's a little bit of tongue-in-cheek here, more than a little bit. Yeah, this copy is beautiful. I haven't played it in a while. One thing I like about making these videos is they really kind of force me to go back and say, what are the albums that you really enjoy listening to that you don't think get listened to enough? And this is definitely one of them. So, short video, just to say, if you like post-punk, if you like new wave, if you like that whole end of the 70s, early 80s in the UK sort of deal, and you haven't heard this album, you definitely should. If you already have, you know how good it is. That's it for today on Greg's Grooves. See you next time.